He's just tough to guard.
So the Redhawks win the opening toss, and they will get the first possession, and they'll roll out with 3 freshmen in the starting lineup here this afternoon, and they'll play probably 5 consistently throughout this game. But they've got the veteran Darwishi Hunter, number 4, to calm things down, and you'll see a lot of that here today as well. Aggressive early defense by the Bulls. Shot clock under 10. Loop it around for the three-pointer from the big man, Reese Potter. It won't go. And now the Bulls get their first chance. And here's Ryan Sable, the freshman for Buffalo, playing catch with Isaiah Adams. Adams. Joe Smith was falling down, but he was able to get that pass out to side Chapman, and then Smith regains himself, gets the offensive rebound. Sable for 3, good.
Smith is picking up off what he did last game, and it's like the ball attracts to him. He's got a high motor, does a good job.
It's a really athletic play by Joe Smith.
Absolutely.
Starting lineups are presented by the UB Alumni Association, representing over 293,000 alumni in 150 countries worldwide. Elmer, Hunter, Cooper, Boltman, and Potter. We mentioned Potter, Cooper, Elmer are the 3 freshmen in the starting lineup, and we'll likely see a few more as things go on. And there's a bucket first of the game for Ian Elmer, one of those freshmen. As you look at the Buffalo starting lineup, Chapman, Sable, Adams, Bolden, and Janavius Smith.
That was one of those backdoor plays that we talked about earlier in the game. Miami, Ohio runs that Princeton offense, and they do a really good job spacing the floor, and they really take advantage of you falling asleep off the ball.
We're going to have you talk a little more about what that all means and how it all works as we go through this game. George Halkovich III in his first year as the Buffalo head coach after that outstanding run of 15 years at Villanova. Getting things figured out here in Buffalo is George Halkovich III. Bulls looking to go over 500 in Mid-American Conference play here tonight. Little runner from the lane, does beat the shot clock. And look at Joe Smith battling, and we'll get a jump ball, and that will stay with the Bulls.
I mean, he's all over the glass. He's always got it.
Travis Steele in his second year as the head coach of the Miami Redhawks, formerly the head coach at Xavier, and some time as assistant at Indiana and Ohio State. And Travis Steele really gave us some interesting insight when we had a chance to talk to him yesterday. We'll relay some of those thoughts of how he's getting things built and rebuilt and moving forward with the Redhawks program. This is A.J. Bolden, trades off with Chapman, stolen away. Double team, then the steal comes from Darwishi Hunter. This is Boltman behind the back dribble, and he almost had it stolen away. High post for the 7'1" freshman Reese Potter. Elmer guarded by Adams.
This is when they're most dangerous at the end of the shot clock. You got to really be disciplined defensively to make them take a tough shot.
3 on the shot clock. Hunter will go up, and he'll get fouled on that shot that didn't really have a lot of chance to go in, but 3 free throws are coming for Darwishi Hunter.
Looks like they made just one of those new rules where I guess you're supposed to let him land, and looks like Adams might have been in the path of him landing.
So bailed out by the foul, Darwishi Hunter to the free throw line, a 78% free throw shooter for the graduate student and the transfer from Northern Illinois. Leading scorer this year for the Redhawks. And we get our first look at the big man, Anderson Marambo, checking in along with a couple of other players for the Redhawks, including Ryan Mabry, but you're going to want to keep your eyes on number 45. He is unique as size and unique as a player. All 3 free throws are good for Darwishi Hunter.
Miami's looking to extend their defense a little bit, really try to stay in the gaps and make Buffalo take contested jump shots.
And they'll play a lot of players, which I think allows the defense to stay a little more aggressive. Look how quick they are sliding from one side to the other. Into the lane for Smith, kick it out for Bolden, wide open 3, back iron no good, and there's Marambo on the stat sheet with the rebound.
That was good offense by the Bulls. Inside out 3, that was a good offense.
And double dribble as Marambo a little lazy there and wound up traveling and turning it over. 6'8", 305 pounds from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. And Bulls fans will remember he lit him up pretty good. Had 18 points in both games against the Bulls last year.
Yeah, he's tough to guard. I mean, he does a little bit of everything.
And he can shoot the three, too. Wouldn't be surprised to see him put a couple up here today.
Oh, yeah.
Adams, top of the key, Sable. Cross-court Bolden. Good ball movement by the Bulls. Chapman on the baseline. Can Cy find space? And offensive foul is the call. Little too aggressive for Cy trying to create room against Bryce Boltman.
I thought Boltman did a good job by cutting that right hand off and took it right in the chest. That was a good job by Boltman by sitting on that right hand.
Sean Fulcher will check into the ball game for the Bulls. A.J. Bolden will have a seat on the bench. Redhawks come in at 0-2 in the MAC, a tough loss to Western Michigan, and then a game last week, or on Friday night against Toledo, where they led by 14 in the second half and looked great, but the little more veteran-savvy Toledo team started to make some plays. Miami didn't, and it winds up being a 4-point Toledo victory. Here's Marambo. Look how he backs in and takes Joe Smith down to the ground.
Joe tries his best to put his chest on him, which is what they teach. But he's 305 and kind of lost his footing a little bit. And Marambo did a good job by initiating and engaging the contact there by drawing a foul on Smith.
There's a lot of backside to move into a defender. How do you handle that as a defensive player?
Well, one thing, you got to push him off the block. You got to try to make him not catch it as far away from the basket as can. You got to put your chest on him, and you got to use your quickness as an advantage. So you got to beat him to spots.
So really the defense has to come before he gets the pass.
Absolutely. You got to work harder beforehand.
And here he is. Look at him back in on Secure Williamson, and that's what makes him such a unique and fun player to watch is he just created all of his own space.
And I thought Williamson did a good job on defense. That just was a better offensive play.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be hard to ask some of the Bulls players to just handle that size. Fulcher, top of the key, three for Bolden, got it.
The Bulls are doing a good job. The shots that they're shooting are good shots. Their inside-out threes is what you want, and they did a good job by penetrating pitch on that possession.
And you can see the early three-point numbers here. And keep in mind, Miami is one of the better teams in the country at defending three. Now here comes Marambo again. This time he goes hook shot, but comes up short.
Williamson did a good job by putting his chest on, hitting him early, and made him take a tough shot.
Kept him a little far away for the hook shot.
Right.
Fulcher will shoot from the elbow and hit.
The Fulcher's that spark off the bench again. You know, he comes in with a scorer's mentality, and he's a kid that can get it going. If he gets it going, which is what they need, that could really help the Bulls with another double-figure score.
Started the first 12 games, but I think you make a good point. I think there's a little bit of Sean Fulcher's game that can be a spark off the bench.
Oh, yeah. He's a guy that can score, that has shown that he can score double figures in games.
Evan Ipsaro, number 2 in the ball game, really a fun and exciting freshman point guard. He did not play in their game Friday night with a little bit of an ankle injury, but he is back and playing. And there's Ryan Mabry hitting the jump shot for the Red Hawks to give them the lead back.
What's really impressive about Miami's offense is their spacing. You know, their spacing and their pace. You know, they don't. Buffalo's not. They can't speed them up, but they do a really good job.
And aggressive move to the rim for Fulcher. That will draw the foul, and we'll have to wait a few minutes for the free throws because we're going to our first media timeout of the evening. Sean Fulcher hitting the 2, Miami by 1.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
Bold, juicy, beefy, grilled. There's a lot of ways to describe the flame-grilled flavor of Burger King. But one thing's for certain. It's not the same without the flame.
At Jiffy Lube, it's our job to make sure you stay on top of what's under your hood. With personalized service reminders and transparent pricing on My Jiffy Lube, we help you take care of the small stuff before it becomes big stuff.
Well, let's dive into the matchup between the Bulls and the Red Hawks. Turner, take us through the numbers that jump out to you.
Well, the three-point percentage, 38% from three, that's number one in the MAC and 23 in the country. They do a good job. And then for the Bulls, the 37 rebounds to the 32 rebounds, they got to really do a good job of continuing to get to the glass, and that's what Joe Smith has done early in his game.
Yeah, the assist number one in the MAC for Miami, the rebounding number last in the conference. So there's your contrast, and the one number that wasn't on that board is their number one in the MAC in three-point defense. So they're number one shooting threes, number one stopping threes, which when we asked Travis Steele, how does that come about? He said, well, threes count more than two, right? And I think it's a strategy to say, hey, we're going to shoot a lot of threes, we're going to get guys that are good at shooting them, and we'll try to work on the rest of the stuff. But if we make a lot of threes, we're going to win a lot of games. Yeah,
that's his philosophy. The three, like you said, threes are better than twos, and they shoot a whole lot of them. And what's unique about their team is a lot of their threes are off those assists. With that offense, it's a lot of passing, a lot of cutting.
And you spent a long time as a coach, and I know how coaches think. You want to be good at everything. But somewhere along, you have to make a decision as a coach and go, you know what, we're going to be really good at these one or two things, and we're going to try to not be awful at the others, but let those other things carry us.
Yeah, I think that's what makes coaches really good, especially coaches that's had experience, like Coach Steele. When he took the Miami, Ohio job, he probably is comfortable and had three things that he wanted to be good at, and we can see what those three things are.
Yeah, no question about it. And as he evolves this program, he'll work on getting players who are better at filling in some of those things that they're not very good at right now. Long three, top of the key from Mabry, won't go. Ryan Mabry, top 10 in the MAC in three-point shooting. Matter of fact, the Redhawks have 4 players in the top 25 in the MAC in shooting threes. Get it in for Cy Chapman, and Chapman had it knocked away, but he'll get fouled by Jaquel Morris.
He's just posting up, and I thought Adams hit him in the sweet spot, and Morris got there with his body and not with his hands up. That's a good call.
Inbound from under the basket, Isaiah Adams will trigger. Gets it into Chapman, who loses the handle and has it stolen away into the hands of Makai Cooper. Here comes Cooper, one-on-one with Fulcher, and it's good. Freshman Makai Cooper on the board with his first two.
Yeah, the coaches are really high on him. Love his speed, his demeanor as a point guard. They're really, really excited about him.
And one of those freshmen that we're going to talk a lot about as the day goes on, and that a lot of the future for the Redhawks is going to be based on how those guys play. Isaiah Adams misses the three, offensive rebound for the Bulls. Chapman, quick step around the baseline, and the foul will come as he turns the corner. Going to go on Ian Elmer.
There's a good attack here. Does a really good job changing speeds. Good finish. Good finish around the basket.
Freshman from Bolingbrook, Illinois, Makai Cooper.
He's more of a scorer than Ipsaro. He's a guy who scores a little bit more. Ipsaro is the more who facilitates.
Here comes Cy, looking for an opening. He'll work it around. Watch the shot clock, down to 6. Isaiah Adams, baseline, feeds the cutter. Cy Chapman, right-handed layup goes in, and Cy's got his first two. The Mac's number 3 scorer and number 1 on the Bulls at 18.8 a game.
Good attack by Adams. Great find. Great find.
With the shot clock winding down, there wasn't a whole lot of time left either. We're going to get a whistle away from the ball. It's going to be a foul on the Bulls. It'll go on Lloyd McVeigh.
Adams attacking baseline, keeping his head up, and had Cy Chapman cutting down the middle of the paint.
Look at the long reach from Cy Chapman. That's a easy scoop layup from the logo, basically.
Right.
Cooper will trigger under the basket for the Redhawks, and they'll get it into the 7'1" Reese Potter. He'll back in on Zakir Williamson. Little baby hook shot goes. Impressive for the freshman from Lexington, Kentucky, Reese Potter.
He's another one of the freshmen they talk about. He's very skilled at 7'1". He can shoot it. He can pass it. He fits their offense very well.
Coming off a career-high 12 points in the game on Friday against Toledo.
And he's a guy that they're talking about just kind of getting in the rhythm. He's kind of had some injuries and some things, so he's kind of just getting into the swing of things.
Yeah, missed the first 2 months of the season with a preseason injury. Off the miss. Here come the Redhawks again. Cooper gets the screen. Gives it back to his teammate Morris. And into the hands of the shooter Ryan Mabry. Lots of screen action going on. Mabry finds the opening, finds the bottom of the net.
That was a tough shot by Mabry. Pretty good defense by the Bulls, but it's a better shot by Mabry. He has a lot of confidence. He's not shy. He's coming in and firing them.
He has taken the most and made the most three-pointers on this Red Hawks team. Actually taken the most, but not made the most. We will get a timeout. Miami starting to heat up. They are a three-point shooting team, and here is one of them.
Captain, ever since you discovered zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, you never stay in character anymore.
You know we're not actually pirates, right?
Of course we be pirates. Look at me hook.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious.
From the intensity of the pitch,
A clinching moment in the title race.
to the beauty of the tiki-taka,
Massive moment.
from city rivals
Needed something special
to El Clásico.
separate these two clubs.
Here's where legends are born. And every match is a spectacle. A celebration like no other. For the love of football. For the love of La Liga.
Today's game is brought to you by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, because life. I'm Paul Peck, the Turner Battle here at UB's Alumni Arena. First half action between the Bulls and the Miami Redhawks, and Miami already shooting well, and the Bulls will need Ryan Sable to shoot well. Third straight game he's wearing that mask after breaking his nose before the game against Central Michigan. You ever have to wear one of those before?
No. And the masks they have now are a lot better than the ones they had. They had the big, thick ones when I was playing.
So now, of course, Ryan's got to protect the broken nose, but he's had back-to-back games of 15 points since he's been wearing the mask. Do we think he's ever going to take it off?
He probably shouldn't at this point.
That's where superstition comes into play, and I think there's a little Bane-looking cool element to it too, isn't there?
Oh yeah, and a lot of NBA guys are doing it.
Off the screen, Mabry can't hit the top of the key three like he just did before the break, so Buffalo now with a chance to cut into this 5-point Redhawks lead. Janavius Smith back in the ball game. Adams for Chapman. Sai going to go cross court for Sable. Pops up the three. Good.
Right on point. That was a good pass by Chapman.
The masked man with the catch and shoot three for the Bulls.
Miami was heavy help.
Stolen away. Chapman got a hand on it. Chapman will wind up getting it and then fall back over the defender, and that's where we get the whistle.
Chapman did a good job. They were loaded up, and then he just skipped it. Wide open shot. Sable stepped in, knocked it down.
Those three-point shooters just love it when you can drop it right in their hands like that.
Oh, yeah. The basket gets big.
And here's the replay of the foul, and that'll be the second of the game on Jaquel Morris. That'll bring Anderson Morambo back in the game. Chance for the Bulls to take the lead here. Already had 3 lead changes in this one. Looping in for Janavius Smith. Joe will dribble, lose it, get it back to Chapman. Sai goes down the lane, hangs and hits.
Tough shot. Tough shot. Great move by Chapman. Chapman, he's just athletic. He knows how to put the ball in the basket.
Cooper pulls up from the free throw line off glass and good.
Tough
He'd
shot.
only had 4 points in his last 2 games. He's got 4 early here for Makai Cooper.
Looks like Miami's in the 2-3 zone. They weren't happy with what they were doing defensively, so just switching it up a little bit.
Don't see a lot of zone in the middle. You don't see a lot of zone anywhere anymore, do you?
No, you don't, just because of that.
And that's going to be 3 shots for Ryan Sable as Mabry comes out and fouls him. And that's a long way away from the basket to be fouling somebody.
Well, that drives coaches crazy.
I teed you up for that one because I knew you were going to say that. Right, if you're going to foul, make it worth it and make it be within 5 feet of the basket. Good series that goes back a long time between these two teams. Of course, East rivals, as we mentioned, almost always played 2 times in a row. So this is the 56th meeting with a narrow 1-game advantage for the Redhawks over the Bulls. And again, as I mentioned, this will be the only matchup between these two teams this season outside of a potential matchup at the MAC tournament in Cleveland. Sable's hit the first 2. Got one more, and he's got it. 80% free throw shooter for the freshman Ryan Sable. 9 points early for him, coming off back-to-back games of 15 points. Ryan Sable starting to heat up. Here's Ipsaro, the freshman point guard, will hand it off to Boltman. Now they'll work it around the court.
Smith doing a good job fighting in there.
And now they'll pull Marambo way outside. Remember, he can shoot from out here. He can drive from out here, too. And he can get around defenders. And that is, in a nutshell, what makes Anderson Marambo such a tough player to guard.
Yeah, you're not going to win a physical battle with him. So you got to pick and choose your say. He's got Janavius Smith has to use his length to try to make him shoot over top of him, because Marambo doesn't have a whole lot of lift around the basket.
You've got a little history with Marambo, correct? At one point you did some recruiting of him, right?
Yeah, one of the teams I was on at East Tennessee State, one of our guys who does a lot of JUCO recruited him, and I went to see him, and when I saw him, I was like, man, look at this guy. And then next thing you know, the guy hits a 3, he dunks it, and then he does a no-look pass in transition.
And he's still doing a lot of that stuff. Although, how much different of a player is he now than maybe the one you saw? What that would have been like 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, he might have been a little bigger back then. You know, he may have been a little bigger.
So the offensive foul gets called on Janavius Smith. That's something to watch. That's 2 now on Janavius Smith. And again, the Bulls don't have a lot of size and height to try to guard guys like Marambo and the 7-footer Potter.
And that's why they're going to the zone here, but they got to be careful not give up a 3.
And that 3 will not fall for Cooper. And here comes Fulcher. And that's a corner jumper for Bolden. He goes down, no foul. And back come the Red Hawks. Top of the key, Marambo. Oh, he thought about shooting it. Instead, he'll drive down to the low block. A little hook shot goes.
That's just a little sweet spot, right-hand hook. Once again, I thought that was pretty good defense by Williamson, just better offense.
Just, what are you going to do, right? And you know what can you do? What do you do?
I think he's got to continue doing what he's doing. Continue to hope that he misses him, kind of push him off his sweet spot.
Step back 3 for Sean Fulcher, who continues to struggle from beyond the arc. And speaking of beyond the arc, there's Marambo. That 3 won't fall. That is the 11th attempted three-pointer of the season for Anderson Marambo. Fulcher, scoop shot, good.
He's tough. He doesn't need to settle as much. He's hard to keep out of the paint. Man. He does a good job. I think when he settles, that's what the other team wants him to do. He's got to continue to attack that paint for himself and for his teammates.
Sophomore from Brooklyn, junior college transfer. George Halkovich told us before the season he plays with New York City confidence.
He's a tough kid.
And again, Marambo picks up the trash and dumps it in.
And when he catches 2 feet in the block charge circle area, man, it's hard to stop that.
And there you see the numbers on the big man Anderson Marambo, who was only playing in his 6th game. He was ineligible for the early part of the season. I think they're slowly working him back in, which is why he didn't start, why they've limited his minutes a bit. Bolden turns, hangs, has it roll out, and that's going to be a foul on the Bulls. They're going to get Chapman for his 2nd. That's not a good development for the Bulls. This development is a timeout as you watch Anderson Marambo control the paint.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
Bold, juicy, beefy, grilled. There's a lot of ways to describe the flame-grilled flavor of Burger King. But one thing's for certain. It's not the same without the flame.
UFC 297 is exclusively on ESPN Plus, and don't miss this special offer. Go to ESPNplus.com/PPV and get $10 off your pay-per-view purchase. Buy now and save $10 on UFC 297. Offer ends January 15th.
Here's where legends are born. And every match is a spectacle. Celebration like no other. For the love of football, for the love of La Liga. We've been living it since day one. On the pitch and in the streets.
Good shoot and score!
Glorious, beautiful, true.
Would you believe it?
The thrill of every win. The devastation of every loss. Nothing held back. All for the love of soccer.
Attic entrances? Check. Team of Destiny?
Check.
Nightmare matchups? Check. All the heart-pumping playoff action of your dreams? Check, please.
Well, early on in this first half, it's been the Marambo show.
Got 2 feet in the paint. He's really hard to stop. Can't give him angles to the basket. And that Janavius Smith has to square him up, really keep him in front.
And after a season last year where he averaged 14 points and 6 rebounds, preseason second team All-MAC. And now the other problem for the Bulls is 15-1. The 2 important big men for the Bulls are both on the bench at the moment with 2 fouls. So how does that change the strategy?
I think one of them, if not both, are going to have to play with 2 fouls, especially with this much time left in the first half. They just got to probably play them when Anderson Marambo's not in the game.
So a lot of those duties will fall to Zakir Williamson, the 6'7", 230-pound sophomore for the Bulls. And to think that Zakir is in there and he's, depending on where Marambo tipped the scales at lately, that might be somewhere between 80 to 100 pounds difference for a 230-pounder.
Right.
First end of the 1-on-1 will not go for Makai Cooper, and a chance for the Bulls to tie this game up. As well as Miami has shot, and as fun as Marambo has been to watch, and you saw that point in the paint stat, that has a lot to do with him. The Bulls are hanging in there and playing well enough to be within range of this game. That wild shot from Fulcher wouldn't go.
With this group that they have in, they got to make sure Adams gets some touches, especially in that mid-post or mid-range area.
Darwishi Hunter short on the layup, short on the reverse layup, and right into the hands of Elmer, who can't finish, and that has to be a foul. Oh no, a jump ball. Oh, fans don't like that one.
Oh, it looked like he jumped on his back.
Hey, no, it didn't look like it, Turner. He did. Watch 35-5 coming up right here.
Yeah, he's on his back. I mean, how is that not a foul?
I don't know, but it's a jump ball call. Chris Beaver, Mark Riggs, and Nate Harris are officiating triumvirate here this evening, and not exactly high on the Bulls fans' pleasure list at the moment. Potter turns back again, throws it up with the right hand, it won't go, and Williamson with the rebound.
Really good defense by Williamson, keeping him out of the paint area as best he could. I thought he did a really good job.
And almost a steal. Instead, Fulcher will take advantage of one guy short and score. And Sean Fulcher is the leading scorer, at least with 8 points, second to Sable's 9 right now.
Yeah, he's bringing that spark. That's what the Bulls need.
Hunter, top of the key now for Elmer. Handed off to Mabry off the screen. Nice give and go, and the two-handed dunk for Reese Potter. That is your Princeton offense.
Right.
We'll show that to you again so that you can explain it, but that give and go theory is what makes that so tough.
Right, that along with the spacing makes it really hard to guard and help off of with the way that Miami shoots the ball.
Red Hawks by 3. Adams, top of the key, Sable, bullseye.
That's a good pass by Adams. He could have over-penetrated drive there, but Miami's heavy in the gaps on those guys, and they made the right plays by passing it to Sable for a shot.
Ryan Sable is 3 for 3 from beyond the arc, 12 points already. Under 5 minutes to go, first half. Collision in the lane, no call. Elmer, layup good. Fulcher playing the point position at the moment. Trades off with Sable. Gets a screen from Williamson. Now give it back to Zakir Williamson, who fumbles it, and he'll have to feed Bolden. Bolden will go up, and he'll draw the foul. The Bulls with a little bit of Princeton offense look there.
Yeah, he did a good job. Penetrate pitch off the ball screen, passing in the paint. Good cut here by Bolden. Good pass by Williamson. What makes Miami is their spacing. Look at the Princeton offense. They got 4 guys around 1, and it really puts a strain on your help defense. If they help too much, they give up a wide open 3.
A.J. Bolden, first free throw is good, and that's what makes that offense. It's hard to learn and to teach because it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of repetitions, right? It's not very freewheeling, but when you get a team that figures it out, it's really hard to stop.
It is. And what the advantage that the Bulls have is they played against Richmond, who runs a very similar offense, so they have a chance. They've seen this before. It's not, sometimes when you see this for the first time, it's really hard to guard because you can't simulate how fast the cuts are in practice.
Get it down low for Marambo, who spins around and hits an and-one opportunity for Anderson Marambo, and he is having his way down low right now.
Miami ran a cross screen action for him, which he caught 2 feet in the paint. Sable probably could have helped a little bit there to help Williamson out.
Lloyd McVeigh picks up his second foul, trying to help out a little bit. And Anderson Marambo with a chance at the three-point play. As we showed at the beginning of the broadcast, 2 games against the Bulls last year for Anderson Marambo, 18-11 in one, 18 points in the other. So he seems to like playing against Buffalo.
Must like the arena and the rims.
It may be.
Chapman's back in the game with 2 fouls. I think offensively you got to try to get him a touch, and defensively he's got to be careful.
All right, so yeah, with 3:50 plus or about 3:50 to go, the last thing you want to have happen is him to get that 3rd foul before the end of the first half.
Right.
Marambo way out on defense. Fulcher instead will go cross court, almost picked off, but Sable pulls up for the jumper. Front rim no good. Red Hawks pull it down. Here's Darwishi Hunter leading the break. Bounce pass for Marambo. Kicks it out. Mabry. That was deflected by Bolden.
That's a great play by Bolden. He could have easily given up on that play and allowed them to get a 3.
Watch it again. As we watch it, we'll take it to a break as A.J. Bolden comes up with the block.
From the intensity of the pitch
A clinching moment in the title race.
to the beauty of the tiki-taka.
Massive moment.
From city rivals
Needed something special
to El Clásico.
to separate these 2 clubs.
Here's where legends are born. And every match is a spectacle. A celebration like no other. For the love of football.
What you watch means always seeing your team in action. Knowing you have access to 50 exclusive NHL games means knowing your plans for the next 6 months. To know hockey is to love hockey, and to love hockey is to have ESPN+.
Millard Fillmore Suburban Hospital is the place for life-changing orthopedic care. Each year, 3,000 friends and neighbors choose us for the orthopedic care they need to get moving again. We're ready for the moment you need us. How about A.J. Bolden is 15th in the MAC, and that was his 12th blocked shot of the season for a 6'3" guard.
He flies around. He's long, he's athletic, he's big. He flies around, and I think he's got long arms too. So some shots that you think that he can't get to, he does. Just like that 3 that he just blocked right before the break.
But that was, and you pointed out, that was a hustle block.
Yo, yeah. He doesn't give up on plays. I think that's one thing the Bulls do a really good job of. Chapman, Bolden, those guys do a good job of chasing down, blocking shots.
So let's see if the Bulls can take advantage of that great defensive effort by A.J. Bolden and prevent a score here in a 3-point game. They get it into the lane. Jaquel Morris, that might have been deflected by Chapman. Offensive rebound will go up and in, and that's Anderson Marambo. 13 points now for him to go along with 2 rebounds. And look at the points in the paint. There's just another example of it. Doubling up on the Bulls are the Red Hawks.
This is something that the Redhawks were concerned about with the Bulls, but the Redhawks are doing a good job by scoring in the paint, and a lot of that is because of Marambo.
And Sean Fulcher's in double figures after hitting that layup.
They can't keep him out of the paint, man. He's got to keep attacking. He's doing a really good job by getting in the paint, scoring. He's bringing that spark.
Marambo, top of the key, dumps it inside, stolen away by Fulcher. You got a 2-on-1 here. Bolden, and that's a two-handed slam.
It was a good pass by Fulcher. He could have kept the ball and made it 3-on-1, which is a tough situation, but he passed it 2-on-1, and then they were able to get a dunk.
1 point game. Ipsaro, the point guard, to Darwishi Hunter. He has not hurt the Bulls so very much so far here today. Into the lane for Morris. Morris will drive on Chapman. Good defense by Cy Chapman. Unfortunately, that won't matter because it's going to be a 3-point play opportunity for Jaquel Morris. I thought it was good defense.
I thought it was too. I thought he just did a good job walling up. All the body contact was created by Morris.
And that's the third now. What do we talk about? It's the one thing the Bulls couldn't have happen as you watch A.J. Bolden glide in for the two-handed dunk. The one thing couldn't have happened was Cy Chapman get his third foul.
Right.
And Morris finishes off the three-point play. So now that will certainly be something to watch for, and certainly something that's going to be on the mind of George Halkovich III as to how he deals not only defensively, Turner, but that's your number one scorer and one of the best scorers in the MAC that's going to see limited minutes now.
These next 2 minutes are very important for the Bulls. They got to take care of the ball, get good shots on offense, and honestly keep going to Fulcher. Let him attack the paint, spread the court out, get some false movement on the backside, and let him get in the paint because they can't guard him.
McVeigh into the corner. Kicks it to the top of the key. Bolden for three. Rims out.
That was a good pass by McVeigh. That was good offensive possession by the Bulls. Just didn't finish it with the basket.
Elmer to the cutter. Mabry back to Potter. Potter had that shot affected by Williamson.
Williamson's giving some really good minutes, especially on the defensive side.
Sable, Fulcher into the double team. He'll back out. McVeigh in the corner. Couple ticks above 1 minute to go in the first half. Fulcher right down the lane, and the scoop shot's good.
Yeah, they're having a tough time keeping him out of the paint. Did a really good job by splitting the ball screen. Miami was really aggressive, split the ball screen low, and was able to get to the basket and score.
That's 11 points off the bench for Sean Fulcher. Mabry trapped down low. Kicks it out to Elmer, guarded by McVeigh. Fall-away jumper, that is pretty.
Impressive
for
move.
Ian Elmer.
He's another freshman that they're high on. You know, he's really athletic. They call him a freak of nature a little bit. He can really play. They're excited about him and his future.
And Buffalo going to call a timeout here with 33.1 to go in the first half. And here's the Sean Fulcher last basket.
Yeah, Miami was really aggressive, and he split between. He was low, put the ball in between the ball screen, was able to score it. Good move by Fulcher. He's doing a really good job in the paint. Really good job scoring in the paint for him. This is what the Bulls need from him consistently, to be that spark off the bench, need him to score and have that scorer's mentality. That's what he's doing.
I'm going to say that we planned this before Sean Fulcher had his good first half, but you'll hear more as I get a chance to sit down and talk to Sean Fulcher a little bit about his life and his career here at UB. So that will be coming up shortly at halftime. See, that's the forward-thinking guys we have back in the control room. Like, they had a sense that Sean Fulcher was the right guy for the halftime interview today.
You guys planned that one out.
Not quite as exciting as the halftime from Saturday when we surprised you with the announcement of your number 11 going up to the rafters here at Alumni Arena, but Sean Fulcher will be at least interesting to talk to. How much reaction and how fun has it been for you since everybody found out about it Saturday?
Oh, it's been crazy. A lot of text messages, a lot of messages on Instagram and calls. Man, it's been great. I'm blessed, and this is a great area, and it's just overwhelmed and shocked, and just great situation.
Well, that'll be February 17th here at the Bulls game against Akron is when that pregame halftime ceremony will happen with Turner's number 11 going up on the wall. Fall-away jumper to beat the shot clock won't go for Bolden, but good hustle by McVeigh. Lloyd McVeigh's floater goes. And the freshman from Australia, with 2.9 seconds to go in the half, pulls the Bulls to within 2.
Yeah, McVeigh's playing with confidence, man. He's made some good plays as he's coming in. He's one of those freshmen, too, that is learning by his experience. He's playing more, and he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable. He's in a different country, and he's learning and adjusting.
6'6" freshman from Cabarita Beach, Australia is Lloyd McVeigh, and he's been a pretty regular guy off the bench for the Bulls, and I think, he's a bit of a physical player, and I think that's something that's certainly needed for this game here today, and that's why you've seen Lloyd McVeigh has played a good solid grouping of minutes.
The Bulls have done a good job. I said it was very important, these 2 minutes, and they've done a good job by keeping it, within 2 or 4 points, and they've done a really good job of not allowing Miami to go on a run without, Chapman and Adams and Smith in the game.
All right, so it's a 2-point game right now. It's Buffalo's job to make sure these last 2.9 seconds don't change that. Quickly get it into Cooper. Cooper pulls up for the 3, off the side of the backboard, and no good. And we go